Hey everybody, welcome to the United States and welcome again to Harvest Time. In our previous episode where I talked about harvest time here in the United States, or around the world in general actually, I had mentioned that we were going to roast off some of these pumpkins and squashes, and so I was just going to make a quick video here to share with you me doing that. I know that I usually, every other year or so I make a video like this, but oh, what the hell. It's a new year, it's a new location, so Chinese chef's knife, that's a new one by the way. Knock the stem off to the extent that I can, and then I'm going to try and open this up without taking my hand off. So normally that stem comes out better, this one did not. Of course it didn't, because I got a camera rolling, so it's not going to come out for me. There we go. The trick with making a vlog is always remain calm. Don't let it get you excited. Never let them see you panic. Anyway, I'm sure you all know the drill. You just split the pumpkin in half. Scrape out the insides. I think the thing that I really wanted to share with you today was when you get your pan, your roasting pan, ready for putting the pumpkin in, or the squash, line it with tin foil. Really, it's not something you want to chintz out on and say, oh, I don't want to spend the money on the foil or waste the foil. You really want to do this because cleaning this, there's a lot of sugar in these, and when you shove in the oven, that sugar caramelizes. I mean, the juice comes out with the sugars in it, and it caramelizes on the bottom, and when you go to clean that pan, you're going to be hating life. So really, it's worth the few pennies you're going to spend to go ahead and put some foil in the bottom of your pan. So, hey, and our oven's hot. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. Boom, voila, that's it. Cut them in half, scrape out the seeds, put them in a tinfoil lined pan, heat your oven to 350 degrees, and bake them for, an hour-ish. Or as the French chef says, until they are done. So, this is a serving spoon that I just happen to have that I love for this purpose, because it really allows me a sharp edge that I can scrape, the strings away from, because these are quite stringy inside. I mean, not bad by comparison to some I've seen, but still, I mean, pumpkins and squashes are just notoriously stringy, and this little spoon, it makes a really nice scraper for eliminating those. So that's all. I'm very much like I should have had on an apron or a chef's coat or something. Voila. Now, that pumpkin cost me $1. And that one's probably going to net me, I don't know, 2.5 cups of pumpkin. Maybe 3. A can of pumpkin is about 2 cups. It's a 15-ounce can of pumpkin. And, well, depending on what you pay for it, sometimes you can get them for $1, but sometimes you're going to end up paying $2 or $3, depending on where you buy them and the time of year. Close to the holiday, close to Thanksgiving, you're going to pay like $3. But, it's not wildly financially advantageous to do it this way, but it's slightly advantageous. And again, it's fun to do. You get, again, you get all this entertainment for $1. And you know exactly what's in your food. So this is the red Hubbard squash that I had told you about. There we go, took care of that, didn't we? You know Beverly's standing there with the camera going, he's going to pick that up. If I can find it, I will. Again, I've never had one of these before, so I'm not entirely certain what to expect. It looks very much like a regular Hubbard squash. The same very large pronounced seeds. Smells like squash, folks. I'll tell you. Whoa. And Bev informed me that she's going to salvage these seeds and roast them off. So, make a nice little snack. Yeah, it would have been beautiful if I'd have cut that nice and even and all that, but it's not a huge deal, folks. It's really not. It's all going to roast up just fine. And like I say, things are never going to go exactly perfect because the camera's running, so there's no way they're going to go right. Alright, got enough of that. This is going in there. Alright, so I'm just going to fire those in the oven for about an hour. And I will stick them with a fork and we'll be right back and show you how they turned out. Hang around. Alright, the alarm has gone off. I've turned it off and then I shut the oven off and I just let my pumpkin and squash set in the oven as the oven cooled off some. I let it, continue to cook beyond the hour. I don't know, another 20 minutes to half an hour. I've let this about 20 minutes. And I'm ready to pull them out of the oven and check them. I think they're done. They're almost always the same. Yeah, these are definitely done. There's our pumpkin. You can see the juice is cooked out of those. I'm going to give that a stab, but you can see it's collapsed. So, yeah, it's fork tender. So that's done. And our squash should be about the same. I mean, again, they're more or less the same critter. Oh, goodness, dear. Bless you.
Sorry.
This one is a little less done. But that part is done. But still, it's fork tender. It's certainly not hard. So, yeah, she's done. That's it. So I'll let these cool a little bit more, and then I'm going to just scrape them away from I'll roll them over and I'll use my little scooper thing again, and I will scrape them away from this husk and be able to use these. I put this in the stand mixer and beat it a little bit to make a pureed squash or pureed pumpkin. And then this I'm going to make into a pumpkin mousse, which hopefully I will remember to go ahead and video so I can show it to you. It's a variation on a recipe done by Ina Garten. It's her recipe tweaked to our taste. So we'll get to that. Anyway, interesting thing about squash here in the United States, the winter squash, the cucurbita moschata mostly. There are several species, but most of it is that. And that is that about 350 million pounds a year of squash are consumed in the United States. Now that sounds like an enormous amount of squash, and well it is, but if you think about that, on average, that means for every man, woman, and child, roughly a little less than, they consume 1 pound of squash per year, per annum. And a pound of squash is about 2 cups. So if you have a cup of squash at Thanksgiving dinner, and say another cup of squash at Christmas dinner, that is about all the squash, winter squash, that the average American eats in a year. Now, clearly a lot of people aren't eating any because Bev and I are way over the average. I figured that we both eat about 20 to 25 pounds a year. So that's about 20 to 25 times, magnitudes of orders of magnitude above what the national average is. So for each one of us, there's 24 people that don't touch squash at all. I don't know why. I hated it as a child, but that could have been because my mother was not necessarily the most exemplary cook in the world. There isn't much about my childhood I remember enjoying. So, but since I've become an adult and I've been cooking myself, it's very sweet, it's very nice. It's I don't know. We enjoy it a great deal. It's very healthy for you. So, especially from the period of, basically Labor Day to the end of the year, so September, October, November, December, it's emotionally very appealing. And then through the winter, it's just a nice hearty vegetable that kind of, sticks with you and makes you feel warm through January, February, March, and those cold months. We eat a lot less of it in the warmer weather, but boy, we make up for it through the fall and winter. So I thought that was an interesting statistical fact about the consumption rates here in the United States. Today, incidentally, is the autumnal equinox. So it's very appropriate that we are doing this today, since today is the beginning of fall in the northern hemisphere. And these are, you don't get any more iconic of fall just about anywhere than these nice, big, heavy winter squashes and pumpkins. So anyway, that's it. These are pretty warm still, so I'm going to not finger them. There's not much to show you other than scooping them out and pureeing them, which is, not that interesting. I hope you've enjoyed what we've shared with you. If you have questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. I love hearing from all of you. I try to make everybody can. If you're new here, hey, welcome. Hey, consider hitting subscribe and come along for the adventure, because we got lots more to show you. And as always, folks, well, thank you for watching.